Well, this is another video here of our stuff that we work on here. We're working on a Gallagher M1500. This is a 220 volt, 240 volt version. They made the 220, 240 version for, well, here in the States anyways, for probably 10 years, maybe less than that, from about mid-80s to the early 90s or so. I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. And then they came out with a 110 volt version, and then they kept that version around until about 2002 or 3. So I just took the cover off, and I was like, well, I haven't made a video on a Gallagher 1500, the old style anyways, in a while. I gotta go over and grab my 220 volt power supply thing, converter box deal, since we're 110, 120 volt here. I got this little adapter box I gotta plug it into. So all the parts I can get for this thing, I can repair this board typically because there's not much to it. Capacitor I can still get. Transformers they don't make anymore, which sits underneath here. It's that brown thing sitting there, or black, whatever color it is. They don't make those anymore, but we have custom built transformers for these old Gallagher units. So the only thing I do not have are the boards, and sometimes we can fix the boards depending on what's wrong with it. There are some components here that we can check and change and stuff, but let me I need my cord here to clip onto it with. So we're going to plug this into a 120 volt deal. I'm going to hook up across the two hot lines. Get on there because I don't want the thing to fall off. Alright, set this down so I can touch anything and short out. Alright, it's plugged in, so what should happen, this light should come on green, and then with a couple seconds it should start clicking, and that light should start pulsing. So let's plug it in and see what it does. Nothing. Okay, well, let's start from scratch with it then. I'm going to leave it plugged in for a second. I'm going to test the AC input. Let's see. Looks like it touches there's 4 terminals here at the bottom of the board. It's like one is basically right here and one's right here. So I'm going to test the bottom here. We're getting right kind of voltage into it, so it should pulse. And it's not. Whoops. Power supply off. So let's pull this board out. I'll set that down for a second. We'll look closer at that board in a second. All right, we're going to test these capacitors. Looks like one's newer, one's old. So these are both 40 microfarad, 900 volt DC capacitors. They're pulse grade, so we're going to test the capacitor. So in order to test the capacitor, you need to, this is the meter that we use. We use a Fluke 115. We've got 2 of them here that we use. I use one, my dad uses the other one. But the symbol for a capacitor for testing is that symbol right above my finger, a little yellow symbol. That's the symbol for a capacitor. If your meter didn't have that symbol, you really can't test these type of capacitors correctly. So we're going to go across these, and they're tied together in parallel, so they're 40 a piece, so they're adding up, so they're 81. So that's okay. All right, so we're going to go to ohms, which is a little horseshoe symbol. This isn't a common thing I check, but we're already in here. Let's see what happens. We're going to check the primary side of the transformer, which are those 2 wires there. Should be 0 to 1 ohm on a low impedance style transformer. 0.2, fine. Should be probably 11 or so. 11 on the dot, basically. So the issue is in our board. Alright, well, there's only a couple things that I know of top of my head that will keep this thing from pulsing. And that is sort of thermal cutout right here. This under this silver thing, it's hiding. this thermal cutout and this SCR right here. Those are the two main things that will usually keep this thing from running. That bulb was a little bit burnt out, so we'll change that too when the time comes, if we can get this board going again. But let me check that thermal cutout. It's basically like a thermal fuse, you know, like a fuse, but does it by temperature. Should read 0. Well, it's bad, so maybe that's all that it is. So let's that would be awesome if that's all that's wrong. Because like I said, they don't make the boards anymore for this. You can't get them anymore. So we're going to desolder, pull this off. I mean, the rest of the board looks pristine. It looks like this board's probably been replaced at one other time because it's too clean. And it's a nice bright green, so I think the older style, they were a little bit duller green in color. We're going to go ahead and change that light bulb too. Might as well, since we're already desoldering on it, we'll go ahead and change that bulb too. Bulb is gone. Pull this little thermal thing off. Small screwdriver. There's the thermal thing. Trying to read what it is. All right. Oh, let's see. All right, where did it go? Right there. It doesn't matter if it goes on top or bottom, really. As long as it stays attached to that resistor. Basically, that resistor will get hot. And if it gets to a certain level, because of a power surge or something, or some kind of fault of some sort, that thermal thing will burn itself open. So they're kind of protecting, because there's no, nope, there are no external fuses to change. There's no fuse on the board, so that's the only really protection thing it's got. This does have this MOV right here, which does something very similar for power surges and stuff, but it looks good, so we won't bother changing it. Usually if those MOVs go bad, you'll see them black or burnt or cracked. Come on, get in there. Alright, so let's solder that back on. Solder that. Cut the excess off. Alright, we'll plug this back in. Get in there. Make sure those tabs, those little sleeves on the board are all straight. Someone saw me doing that to a board, smacking it like that, and they go, oh, got all scared and everything. Oh, you're gonna hurt something. Like, no, I'm not gonna hurt anything. The boards are pretty thick, and you can hit them in certain areas, and you'll be all right. All right, so now let's turn the light back off so you can see that light glows. Flip my switch on. All right, well, it's clicking again. That's a good sign. But that light right there is not flashing. So let's power it back on real quick. Let's hook a meter across there and see it kind of. Oh, we're getting good voltage out of it. Why not light flashing? I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, there's two resistors right there, a diode, little capacitor, 3 big resistors of 10 watt, 820 ohm there, and 10k ohm there. I don't know what size those are. I'd have to look them up. Yellow, violet, brown. Let's see. I don't have it memorized. Okay, if you don't have one of these, it's a really handy little device, little tool, whatever. It's an inductor and resistor. It says capacitor color code, but I never deal with that. But I've got most numbers I got memorized, but I don't look up resistors that often, so I got this little color code wheel. And resistors have this is only for a three band resistor, not for 4, 5, 6 band resistors. Those other types. But the first color on there is yellow, violet, brown. So we're going to go yellow, violet, brown, black, red. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, shit. This is those are 4 band. I can't even use this with it. That's a 4 band resistor. I don't have a color code thing for that. I got an app on my phone, but I'm using my phone to take this video, so I can't stop right now. Pause it unless I do a 2-part deal. Let's just ohm it out and see what it reads. I don't know. I may have to look it up. That reads 465 ohm. It's yellow, violet, brown with a gold band as the tolerance deal. That's 100k ohm. Well, let's see. So first band is brown. The brown black, so that's 10. So that might be 100k. That's probably close. And it was yellow. Violet. Yellow is 6. No, it's 4. So 4. Violet is 7. So what does it read? That might be right. Okay, let's check that little diode sitting right here. That diode's good, so let's check these big resistors. Okay, this first one right here is a 10K. ohm resistor. That might be our issue right there. This is 820 ohm. 805, close enough. It's 820. So I think our issue is this big resistor right here. That's a 10K resistor. I think I got plenty of them things. 10K, 10 watt. Ooh, 10K, 5 watt. All right, well, so what I'm gonna have to do, I've only got 5 watt, 10K resistors in stock. So what I'll do is I will put these together, make one big resistor basically to go across that same spot. So I'll move that out of the way, and then we'll pull this board over here, desolder that off there. I can put a new board in here, but I really, there's not much to that board. I'd rather save a good board that's either new or rebuilt, since this one's probably salvageable. Because the unit is working, minus that the light won't flash on the output side. And that's kind of a nice thing to see. If that light's flashing, you know your fence is good. If it's not flashing, you know something's wrong. So we're going to go across here. Come on. There. And then go across here. Ow. Alright. Pull that off. Yep. We'll check it one more time out of circuit. Usually resistors, you can test them in circuit, but let's just, for the hell of it, just test it real quick. Yeah, 10K, 10 watt. I'm reading nothing earlier. Still nothing. Yep. Okay, trash that. All right, let's if you look at that tracking on there, so this is where your transformer output comes at. So it looks like it comes right into there. So it feeds right over to there, and then it powers up all this stuff. It allows it to pulse and everything. So that's probably why that red light doesn't flash. So this is probably going to fix this board. So let's bend that up a little bit, and then we will put it in like this. Go underneath, bend these wires over. Solder them together there in the middle. Snip off the excess and solder them on the back side, and that'll probably solve the issue there. All right, so bring this unit back over here. Hold on, pull it back out. This tab's bent a little bit. All right, turn the light back off so you see it better. Everything's all hooked up. Turn it on. Hope that light will start flashing. Let's see what happens. It should come on there. It should start clicking and flashing there. We got issues elsewhere. You can see it was arcing inside of here. I thought two 5-watt resistors would work, but I guess not. It was arcing over here as well. Alright, well, crap. I don't have a 10-watt, 10-ohm resistor. I don't, well, let's just steal it off of something. I don't have any in stock, so I'm going to have to order some. But what I will do is, we know it's working. I'm going to make a note on this board what I need to do to it. I'll order some new resistors in. Take care of that board. Let's see if I got another rebuilt board over here somewhere. Here's a later version board of the same style, just a newer, later version. Has some more protection pieces on the board. All these little MOVs, they call it, or varistors. They're for over voltage protection things. But that board's, we fixed all the stuff on the board here and there, so it's all good. So, all right, try it again here just to see. Only thing I see that's going on, besides that light flashing, come on, it's right there. Ah, yep, there's a loose solder joint right there. So we'll solder that real quick, right there in that little connection right there. Alright, everything else looks alright. Alright, power it up one more time. Yeah. $9,000 volts out of it. Nice pop to it as well. So I'm going to set this one off the side with a load on it, let it run for a while, maybe for a day or so, make sure it's all good to go. But other than that, it should be ready to be put back together, put on the fence, go back to work for another 20 years, hopefully. So hopefully you like this kind of stuff. If you got a question or something, ask us. All of our information is down in the description area. But here's our name, address, phone number, and everything. But we work on all brand electric fence boxes. I don't care what it is, we'll work on it. We don't charge anything for looking at it, so it's a free quote. So if it costs you a little shipping to get it here, but for some reason you don't want to fix it because it costs too much or whatever, we don't charge anything unless you want it back and it's just afraid to get it back. Alright, well, alright, got a bunch more to work on, so I'm going to go put this one away and go grab another one. So remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and share the videos to your friends and neighbors and stuff, and we'll see you on the next video.